Okay, so now we've discovered we need constraints for our ball, or at least we think we do, so I'm going to show you how to make constraints. I have a mesh. This is not my ball rig, I'm not going to show you on that, and then I have I'm going to make a cube. Okay, and I'm going to move this cube out, scale it up so we can see it. And then I'm going to make one of these follow the other one. I'm going to delete all the history just for fun. Okay, so now to make a constraint, all you have to do is pick your driving force first, your driving object, and there could be any number of driving objects, and then the last thing you select, you'll add to that selection, and it will be the driven object. So with those two things selected, I'm going to go to Constraint, Point Constraint. Okay, and you see the ball snapped to where the box was. That's not necessarily what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to undo, and I'm going to go to Constraint, Options box, and I can tell it to maintain offset. You'll also notice that I have other options. So I can tell it to constrain only specific axes if I wanted to. I can say just constrain X only. I'm going to go ahead and just choose all. Also, I have a weighting, which means if I set this to 0.5, kind of like with our weights we did on our cluster, the ball is only going to follow the cube 50% of the cube's motion. So I'm going to go ahead and set that to 1 just so we can see it better. And I'm going to click Add. Okay, now you see that it didn't move, but now when I select the cube, the ball is going to move. Now if we see this hierarchically, we can see that they are not parented to each other. The cube is not a parent, the ball is not a parent of the cube. Okay, now there's another one of these. Okay, now I guess before I move on, I should switch my rotate tool, and if I rotate the cube, the ball does not rotate. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. Yes, we had a question? Yes. So this node down here, if I zoom in on it, it's the P-sphere 1 point constraint. And so that gets added to your hierarchy. In fact, if I don't want them to be point constrained anymore, this is a good point, I could select that and delete it. And now, the ball doesn't follow the cube. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the cube as the driver again, and I'm going to do an orient constraint this time. Tell it to maintain offset and add. Now, with the cube only selected, if I rotate the cube, the ball rotates in a like manner in its own location. Okay, so that can be handy. I'm going to delete that. Got the cube and then the ball. And this time we're going to create a parent constraint. Tell it to maintain offset, which it already is. And click Add. And now when I tell it to rotate, the ball is going to rotate with the cube. The parent constraint is made to mimic as if I had done this in the hierarchy. Okay. Or actually, I meant to do, it's as if I did this, sorry. So it's as if I parented the ball to the cue. Now, you don't want to do both of these. Even though it's working, it's doing twice as much computation as is necessary. And so you'd want to keep these separate. If you did want to keep them close together association-wise, then you would select both of them, the driver and the driven, and group them. And then you could still move them around and do whatever you need to do and keep them constrained.